Why do younger guys tend to date older guys? Do you agree with that statement? Do we agree with that statement?
Do older guys prey on younger guys? Or do younger guys prey on older guys?
There is so much to unpack. We are going to cover all of this and more, so stay tuned. Okay, to kick this off, this is definitely a hot topic. So we posted a short form video about this topic on Instagram and TikTok, and it got a lot of passionate comments from you guys, both agreeing, some disagreeing. We got DMs.
Yeah.
Basically just stirred up a little bit of drama.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to relate with this topic, so.
Yeah, so you guys are passionate about it. We are too. I think it's really relatable. It's happened to us. It's happened to a lot of you guys. So we want to elaborate on that. But before we do that, we want to preface, and I wrote this down because I think this is important to say. We do not want this to be interpreted as a generalization or a blanket statement whatsoever. You know, we're not saying that age determines if someone is a good or a bad person. This is just simply a scenario that seems to have played out more often than not with us and with some of our friends. So we just want to put that out there before people come at us for saying that someone that is of a certain age is automatically manipulative or a bad person, because that's not true.
Yeah, there's young people that are manipulative and there's older people that are, so it has nothing to do with your age. We're just talking about what we've experienced and what a lot of other people can relate with, so.
Yeah, and also to further that, like, I consider us in the older age group.
Yeah, we're old now.
Yeah, like the scenario that we're talking about is like people who are fresh baby gays, you know, 18, 19, 20, 21, dating people who are 35 plus, or even us. If I were to start dating an 18-year-old, like I don't know. I just don't see how we'd have that much in common.
Yeah, but some people do, and there are healthy relationships like that.
So now that we got that out of the way, should we dive in?
Let's dive in.
All right, let's go. Do you want to?
Let's get juicy. I think a good place to start would be like our personal experiences that we've had.
Yeah.
Because both of us have experienced what we're talking about, and it seems like a lot of other people have, but you should start with your story.
You
first.
start.
You're the one that started all this.
Okay, fine. Since I started this, I'll go first. I'll keep this brief. So, honestly, I'm going to be really real with you. I think only you know this. The first person that I dated was older, but just a really quick little fun piece of information. Before I dated that person, before I was even 21, I didn't date this person, but I was talking to someone that was much older. He was like, I don't know, maybe 60.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna say that, yeah, probably oversharing here, but I was like 20, and this person was like 60. We didn't date. We did not date.
48.
But it was like that first person I talked to, and that's exactly what I'm talking about here. The guy was nice. He wasn't like actually a crazy controlling person, but I did not date this person. It was like talking to them, which. Anyways, going on to my example, the first person that I dated, if you see this, sorry, but not really. I was like 20, 21. I wasn't really out yet, and this person was late 30s, so 12, 13, 14 year, whatever it is. We were on and off, and like, you know, me being brand new, baby gay, so to speak, I was like so naive and so like starstruck by this person that was like, had their life together, you know, was well off, had all these cool good things going for them. And I was just like sucked into this relationship with this guy, and I didn't know any better. And I'm not saying everything was bad, but looking back on it, a lot of things that happened over the course of, this was almost 4 years on and off, were like crazy, manipulative, whatever. And I'm not saying I was a saint, but I did not know any better at all. And this person made it seem like they knew everything, and I thought that they knew everything, and they did things a certain way, and I thought that's how things were done, and would say things to make me think that I was the issue.
Why do you think that you were drawn to him or people like that? Dig deep and...
Someone that's like well off, is established in the gay community, has done all these things, like knows what's, money, but aside from money being well off, like they have experienced everything. And I think when you're new in the gay world, you don't know anybody, it's nice to have someone that has been through a lot.
So you don't think a younger person could have shown you that?
No, because if I was dating someone like myself, like I wouldn't know anything, but we would be experiencing it together, like learning as we go.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas dating someone older, like I did and like you did, they guided you in what they thought was the right thing to do.
So in like finances and friends and sex, like all that stuff.
Just everything, like showing you how to be, how to be gay,
How
I
to be
guess.
gay.
That's their perspective. It took away from me experiencing things, like figuring out things on my own. I just...
Do you think you had like a sense of safety with him?
That
Or
too.
Because he was older, you just kind of felt like more
Yeah,
safe?
for sure. And I know for me personally, like my parents were divorced. I grew up with a single mom, and like people joke about daddy issues, but like that might be something. Like my dad wasn't really around when I was a kid that much, so that might be part of the reason as to why it like stems from.
Yeah, I think a lot of gays do have daddy issues.
What does daddy
Or-
issues even mean?
I mean, I think when you're gay, you just have trouble connecting with. I think it's harder to connect with a straight dad that maybe has like a negative perspective on being gay, or it's harder to open up to a dad like that. Like personally,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've experienced. So I think that's why a lot of gay guys experience daddy issues.
I guess to round that out, the end of it ended in lying, cheating, toxicity, mental health issues, trust issues. All of that kind of came with that relationship after everything had happened.
So for him, it left a bad taste in his mouth.
Yes, and I don't know if that would have happened if I were to date someone younger, but with my situation on how it played out, dating someone that was significantly older than me, I think that they knew that I had no idea what I was doing, and they like groomed me to be a certain way, planted things in my mind, like said certain things certain ways, and made me feel like I had a bunch of issues and was always a problem. And like when I found out this person was cheating on me, they turned it back on me, of course, and said it was my fault, and like of course made me feel bad for like going through their phone or whatever it was, which is complete bullshit. But just to like put a pin in that, looking back on it,
What is wrong with their throats?
looking back on it, if I were to be approached by that same person now, and I were to date them, that relationship probably would have lasted a few months, not on and off for 4 years.
Right.
So
And
take that as you will.
speaking to that, like I remember learning about like, I don't know if it was in my church or it was like a subject on like how companies like run their business, and they prefer people who are inexperienced because they have like a fresh slate to start with, pretty much. And I think that's something that can relate to this. Like when it's like a young gay who doesn't know anything, he has nothing to like go back at that person for. Like there's less things that they're gonna disagree on. It's easier to like instill certain things in that person and make him into who you want them to be, or
Yeah.
and just it's easier.
I was always saying yes. I go like yes, 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 yes. Like I don't think I ever said like no in that relationship for the longest time,
Right.
because whatever they said was right, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like whatever you say goes.
Right. And I think as well, like I had a similar situation, but with
Yeah, why don't
mine-
you tell your...
well, it's very similar, so there's no point of repeating it word for word. But with me, I think maybe I also was like not making a lot of money, so he was paying for a lot of stuff. So I felt bad to like not say yes to everything, like you said. Like I feel like I was forced to because he was paying for a lot of stuff. And I think that's what happens with a lot of younger guys because of the financial situation. You just kind of have to do everything that the older person says, and a lot of times it might not be something that you want to do, but because of the dynamic, it's just like the way that it is. And I think a lot of younger guys are the same. Like they don't have enough money, they don't have as much money as the older person, so they're being taken care of financially, and they're just also can't stand up for themselves. Like I think that was me. I just wasn't able to stand up for myself because I truly wasn't happy in that relationship.
Yours wasn't as serious as mine. It was like a...
No, yeah, mine was only maybe like half a year.
Yeah. Were you guys like officially like...
I think we were officially, but he was just, I knew that he was like sleeping around with other guys, and so I wasn't like fully into it or serious about it. And I also felt like it was hard to get out of the relationship.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I like fully knew, and when I had evidence that he did sleep with somebody, I like took that and ran with it because it was like an excuse to break up with him.
Yeah.
And because without that, I like, wasn't able to just stand up for myself and be like, I don't want to be in this relationship. Bye.
Yeah.
I was really young and naive, obviously, and just like I still sometimes have trouble standing up for myself. But you can imagine like somebody who doesn't now at age 30, and then like when they're younger, they're even less, you know, able to stand up for themselves. So that was my situation. Like once I was able to get out of it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm free. Like never look back to that chapter of my life again.
Mm-hmm.
So just because we both had that scenario, like I think there are a lot of younger people that are truly happy with older people and maybe they're not manipulative, but I think our point was that a lot of these older gays purposely do this because they know.
And again, older, like we could be the older gays.
Yeah, we could literally.
We are in the category. You're like, you age develop, like you develop as a person, physically, mentally, like all of it, you're developing. Unless you are the select few people of guys that we dated that are very immature at age 40, 50, whatever. Sorry, no shade. No, there's
But
shade.
I personally like never dated younger guys because of the immaturity level, and like whenever we would hang out, it would just be like kind of awkward because they would literally act like a child. So to me, that was like a turn off.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think I guess certain people don't care about that at an older age, or because you're older, you want a younger guy because your younger guy's gonna be more muscular, more in shape. Not always, but the older you get, obviously, the harder it is to maintain what you have. I'm trying to like tread on like not say anything.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about looks, but no, I don't know what you said earlier, but it made me think. So to like spitball off of that, just going into age gap relationships in general. So we mentioned earlier in the video, but to elaborate on it, we have plenty of people that we are close with that are 25 dating 40-year-olds, dating 45-year-olds, 30-year-olds, dating 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, whatever. But those people have been through relationships and they've dated and they've seen what works and what doesn't. So that is very different than someone that is 21 and has never had a boyfriend instantly jumping into someone that's 40 that has had like 6 boyfriends or 6 whatever.
Yeah.
Girlfriends, boyfriends, been in relationships. So that's a big difference in my opinion because the person who is freshly out or freshly gay or whatever, hasn't dated, does not know what they're getting into, and the other person knows that they don't know that, and the other person also knows, you know, what they've been through or whatever. So those are very different things. So if you are 25, 30, 35, whatever, and you are watching this and you're dating someone that's older, we don't want you to take offense to this. Like,
it happens to all of us.
Yeah, like we're not like professionals on this. This is just something that we wanted to talk about because we've both had bad experiences with it.
Yeah, we were like, who else has been through what we've been through? Because we literally went through the same exact thing.
And there's a lot of people out there. So again, just going back to folks who I guess are categorizing themselves as older that are taking offense to this. There was a few people on my Instagram posts, like, there's no need for that. Because that's not where we're coming from, and that's not what we're talking about.
We put ourselves in that category. Our friends are older than us. Like, we're not trying to come at older people.
Again, we're older, but yeah, just want to put that out there. There's a pretty big difference, in our opinion, on that dating dynamic. There was like 400 comments on this post in one day. So just to give you context, honestly, most of these are like, this happened to me. Just to be honest with you guys.
I feel like if you were negative, then you were probably that person.
And a few people commented that. They're like, there's a lot of guys in here that are like upset. This one was pretty harsh. So, wow, what a super ignorant, hateful, and disparaging comment. That ranks right up at the top with racism, transphobia, and drag queens converting children. Happily unfollowing you. I get where you're coming from if you took it that way, but this video, and if you haven't seen it, this was it. I mean, do you want to reply to that?
This video does not rank with those things because it goes against toxic relationships. Like, we're talking against toxic relationships. We're not racist or xenophobic or whatever for saying that.
Oh no,
we're trying to stand up for the people that are, you know.
This person was saying like, you're discriminating against old people or generalizing all people of a certain age. He's saying like that's the same thing as being racist or like transphobic.
Well,
That's
we
what that
did.
person's
We
saying.
prefaced this video by saying we're not generalizing. I guess.
Yeah, it's not. And I think in the caption I put like, this just happens to be my experience, not saying this is how everyone is.
Yeah, I think if you're offended, then you're probably like the manipulative person. The only reason you would be offended by this is if it like, you know, if it hits home with you.
I mean, I'm assuming this person was older and just took it a certain way. And if you watch this, I'm sorry that's how it came across. I did not mean for it to come across that way. But to reply to you in a short little paragraph, I would say, just as Alex said, this, in my opinion, is not even near to the same level as being racist or transphobic or drag queens converting. This is us sharing an experience and stating facts. Like, this is what happened to us. A handful of our friends had the same exact experience. Hundreds of people in this comment section, as you could have read, have this same exact experience. And it's a matter of people who are wise coming after people who are not wise in a relationship power dynamic. That's what it's about. It's not about people that are of a certain age all are manipulative and toxic and suck. It's what I just said before that. So that's my reply to you.
Yeah, and I think if you're like an older guy dating a fresh new gay, and you're
you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and you're in a healthy relationship and you're not preying on that young person, then you shouldn't be offended by this video because it's not even talking about you. So like, there's obviously different scenarios, and the one that we're talking about, if you're an older gay dating a younger guy and you're happy and everything's good and like the younger guy doesn't feel like he's getting taken advantage of, then you should be good and you shouldn't be offended by this at all, you know?
Do you want to read that one? This one's pretty funny.
Yep, I was catfished, still rolled with it because he was packing. Turned out to be a long abusive relationship.
Yeah, there's that one.
That's literally what happened.
I mean, that one was just funny
He was packing.
Okay, I don't need to know that.
Packing with the wrong things, it seems. Someone commented. This one I can relate with too. It says it happened with me, and it wasn't the next experience with lying about his age. The guy that I dated lied about his age also. So like, I think he said we were like 15 years apart, but really we were like 20 or something. Being freshly 18, I thought this was normal when it wasn't.
See, that is a perfect example of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, we're talking about guys like that 18, 19, 20 that like have no experiences, and then like, if you read through these comments, you'll learn a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's
just
a lot
from like everyone's experiences. Like the majority of people commenting have gone through the same thing, so that's the only reason why we made this video.
Oh yeah, and going to that comment, I think in the intro talking about like let's talk about, do we think older gay people are preying on younger gay people, or younger people are preying on older gay people in this specific dynamic where new, fresh, young guys are dating older guys who have been through the scene already?
Yeah, because there's.
I know what I think. What do you think? Who's preying on who?
Well, obviously, I think the majority of times it's the older one praying, but there might be. I think there's probably situations where younger guys like seek out older guys purposely because that's like what they're like seriously attracted to, and by praying we just mean like they suck them in with like their money and the things that they say, sneaky type of stuff, just to get that person into a relationship with you and kind of have them to yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like recently we like met this young kid and he seemed like he wanted to hang out with like people more his age, but that older guy wouldn't let him because he was kind of like protecting him.
Who?
I don't know. I don't remember his name.
Where? He'll learn. But yeah, as far as my opinion on who's preying on who, I think it's both. Because for me, like, I was attracted to the older guys because I think going back to maybe the daddy issues thing, or I was just like.
But also at that age, you can't really date younger because that would be like wrong.
You can date someone your same age.
Yeah, that's true.
But to me, all these kids that were 19, 20 that happened to be gay that I knew of were all really kiddie and kiddish and like childish and immature, and I just wasn't. That's why it was like a double. Yeah, like I think I preyed on like the older guys and they preyed on me, but I didn't know what that really meant.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to mention, or?
We love all gays of all ages and sizes and colors.
Okay.
We just don't like toxic, manipulative gays, and that can be someone of any age, any size, any color. So,
and I'm sure a few people are gonna hate on this video, but we've said it 20 times. Like, that's not our intention. Yeah. If you take it that way, that's on you. Sorry. It sucks that was my first experience with the guy. My first like real serious relationship, because like I said earlier, it just like damaged me as a person, and I felt like I was stuck. I thought I was gonna marry this person. I was partially living with this person at the time. Like, I just thought that was my life, and I was like completely blinded by the light, and like that was my whole world. And hindsight 2020, am I glad that I went through that? Yes and no. I know that's like a cop-out answer, but like I learned a lot. I learned what not to do, how not to treat people, but at the same time, I think that it obviously messed with me mentally. And also, I think I learned a few things in that relationship and took them, and they kind of grew into me as a person, which I'm not happy about. Like, that person rubbed off on me. Well, insecurities, but just things that, like, I'm not proud of, like, the way I act sometimes, or, like, the way I, like, handle things. And I think that I learned that from that first relationship, honestly. We're not perfect, you know, to be 100% real. Like, we obviously have our issues, our battles, and, like, you know, I try to do my best, but like there are things that I wish I would do better, and you know, vice versa. Right. And I'm saying maybe that stems from like learning those things from that first like serious long-term relationship.
Yeah, I think with me, I just developed a lot of trust issues mainly.
Same.
So it was like with those kind of relationships, once you get out of it, you're able to see the bigger picture. When you're in it, it's just like you're in this little world, and that's like all you see.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I will say, fast forwarding to today, present day with you, comparing the two, which I never do, but just for the sake of this video, night and day. I can remember times in that relationship where we would be out, and like, if this person said they were going to use a restroom, I would literally be like looking, like, where did they go? Who are they talking to? Oh, they're talking to this guy. Like, oh my god.
That was stressful. I remember those days too. Like,
yeah,
like always
the same thing.
You're like always worried that they're doing something, and it's 24/7. It's not healthy.
And it ended up being true.
Yeah.
Which was the worst part. I literally remember every time we would go out, alcohol would be involved. If he went to the bathroom or was on his phone, like, I was in such a shitty place that I would literally be like trying to see what they were doing or who they were and whatever. And most of the time it was nothing, but it ended up being something.
Well, that's also not healthy, just so you guys know. Like, if you're the whole time you're in a relationship with somebody, if you're worried that they're cheating, then you guys need to figure out a way to build on your trust, because that's not like a healthy long term either. It's just gonna create more mental issues for you.
Yeah.
Or like more insecurities, more trust issues. But
yeah, that could be a whole nother topic of discussion, like building a relationship on a solid foundation. And that's just a whole nother video.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that. Let us know if you want us to discuss more about that here on our YouTube podcast that is called Daddy Issues, I guess. Is that good?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, sounds good. Well, you heard it here first. That's good.
If you guys like these kind of videos, we'd love to do more of them. Just let us know that you like them, so that we're not wasting our time.
Yeah, I think these are juicy topics. The goal of this is to be relatable, share our experiences, our stories without offending anybody.
You guys seem to like our talking videos more than our traveling videos.
Yeah, that's another thing. The travel, like, we travel.
Spending all this money and y'all aren't even watching our stuff.
We travel a lot this year, and we do that because we like it. Like, we love to travel. Yeah. And being in the position that we're in with social media, YouTube, all this stuff, TikTok, Instagram, like, it naturally makes sense to document all of those things. But
we are traveling more specifically for YouTube. Like, we love to do it, but just so we can create more content for you guys. So we would appreciate it if you did watch our traveling.
I mean, I think too, the YouTube algorithm like puts things in front of people. It's not.
Well, if you missed our videos, go check them out.
Yeah, we put a lot of time and effort into the travel stuff.
Into the Costa Rica ones recently, so check those out.
Yeah, like hours and hours and hours and hours of work.
We feel like we're
thousands of dollars.
And we feel like we're improving, so we'd love for you guys to see how we're improving on that. So
yeah, but we can't travel 24/7. We do not have millions of dollars in the bank. Have disposable income. I need to go back to school.
Me too.
So when we're home and we have stuff to talk about like this, I think we're gonna do that. But we do have some trips coming up. We have really exciting that I'm excited about next week. Next week.
Yeah, we got another. Are we telling them?
Yeah, tell them what it is.
We're gonna do something really wild and stay on a floaty in the middle of the ocean.
Yes. that is a very like broad.
We won't give you any more information. You can watch the
We're
video.
spending the night on a floating situation in the ocean, and that's all we'll say.
Very primitive living.
Yeah. So.
And then we're going on a road trip, but no details on that yet.
All right. High five.
Bye.
See you guys later.